So welcome back to another rebuild here on NBA 2K24 Next Gen. In today's video, we are back with another episode of our Throwback Rebuild series, and today it's the 2015-16 Miami Heat. This is a Heat franchise that is obviously a few years removed from multiple championships, the presence of LeBron James, and this is a team that was really struggling to find its identity. We have a 33-year-old Dwayne Wade here. We have a 31-year-old Chris Bosh. Now, that being said, they did actually finish with 48 wins. They were the 3 seed in the Eastern Conference, won a playoff round against the Charlotte Hornets, then lost in the Eastern semis against the Toronto Raptors. So here today, we're going to have some decisions to make, because if you were not aware, this was Dwayne Wade's last full season in Miami, if you will. He departed for the Chicago Bulls the next offseason, and Chris Bosh retired due to blood clots. So outside of those two, this roster is not necessarily very talented. There's also a lot of older players on this team. Our goal today is to turn that around and hopefully bring this franchise a championship. As always, let me know any other video ideas down below in the comment section. I've been really enjoying the kind of throwback and historic rebuilds we've been doing. It's a really great way to kind of fill time and, just make videos about things that you don't typically see. I do it pretty much every year, every cycle through 2K in August. It's a ton of throwback and historic rebuilds. So we'll continue to doing them all the way up till 2K25. Anything you really want to see, let me know down below. Let's get into this one. We're going to go ahead and have a quick conversation about this current Miami Heat roster. Obviously, I kind of already went over some of my concerns in the intro, but we'll talk about a little bit more in depth once we get into that roster now. I also talked about that LeBron James is no longer here in Miami. We are a few years removed of him being in a Heat uniform. This was actually the season that he did bring a championship to Cleveland. If you all remember that finals, I was 16 years old. It was one of the craziest things I've ever seen in my life, man. And I'm not going to get into it right now. Basketball doesn't hit like that anymore. I love basketball, do not get me wrong. Nothing will hit like that 2016 season. Really just life in general at that point, but I'm getting way too carried away right now. Let's talk about this team right now. Here at the point guard spot, we have a 29-year-old Goran Dragic. I know he is loved by the Heat faithful, and he is certainly somebody that is a nice option at our point guard spot. Now, pushing 30 years old on a 4-year contract certainly makes me a little bit nervous, but it is nice to have him locked up long-term, and there's certainly a world and a possibility, or he is my guy throughout the entirety of today's video. We have 4 different shooting guards on this team. Dwayne Wade, as I mentioned, I know he obviously ended up returning to Miami eventually and retiring as a member of the Miami Heat. Not that that was ever really in jeopardy anyways, but if I'm remembering correctly, I don't think Pat Riley really wanted to give him a big fat paycheck in this offseason after this one, and ultimately he decided to go home where he's from, Chicago, and sign with the Bulls, and ended up playing for the Bulls for a little while, then made his way to Cleveland with LeBron, and it was just a very, very weird era in Dwayne Wade's career. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with him here today. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it was such a weird era that I want to change that and give Dwayne Wade, $100 million this offseason, because I don't know if that's the case. He's clearly the best player, but we'll figure it out when the time does come. Gerald Green's certainly a nice role player on this team, an absolute high flyer. I'm pretty sure he only has 9 fingers, and he is somebody that I'm definitely going to have probably in this rotation as we make our way here through year 1. Actual Tyler Johnson is not in 2K. That is why there is some auto-generated person who somewhat looks like Tyler Johnson. Not really sure what we're going to do with him here today. The only thing that's really memorable, in my mind anyways, about Tyler Johnson is how much money he got paid. And it was a lot, let me tell you that. Josh Richardson is only 22 here. Obviously ended up being a very quality NBA player, still in the league today. Actually, he might be back with the Miami Heat, I think. He's only a 69 overall right now, which is certainly not something that's going to help us try to compete and win games, but it is nice to have a young player here who's at least a real person, I'll say that. Small forward spot, Joe Johnson, Luol Deng, Justice Winslow, and Darrell Wright. Certainly not my 4 favorite options in the world. Obviously, we know ISO Joe going to be a very, very solid small forward option for us. He's certainly not a long-term solution at 34 years old, but he is a nice kind of plug-and-play for 1 year, and maybe not even that if we end up trading him. Got Luol Deng. He is 30. Remember when the Lakers gave this guy, like, what, $100 million, whatever it was, $80 million, whatever the fuck it was. Insanity. Justice Winslow, who, by the way, was, really high draft pick. I thought he was going to be really good coming out of Duke. Never really turned into much in the NBA. And then Darrell Wright here as well. Power forward spot. This was Chris Bosh's last season in the NBA. It sucks. It's sad as all hell. Blood clots are obviously very, very serious, but we have him here today. We don't play with injuries on, so I'm not really sure what our plans are with Bosh, but obviously nice having him on the roster. You got Josh McRoberts. I think that's an auto-generated fill-in person, supposed to look like Josh McRoberts. And then Mr. Udonis Haslem, obviously the lifetime Miami Heat player, the OG himself. I don't know. It's UD. We'll see. And then the center spot. Hassan Whiteside's apparently not in 2K either, so they created somebody to, I guess, maybe somewhat look like Whiteside. Not really. The only thing I do know about this, as unfortunate as it is, because Whiteside was actually really good in his time in Miami, if you remember correctly. is that he doesn't put up good numbers in 2K, and it's unfortunate because I know whoever created this, it's not actually Whiteside's fault. It's just whoever created this did a really shitty job, and is what it is. And then a 32-year-old Amari Stoudemire. So that's what we're working with here right now. I definitely have some trades before we kick off year one. I've come to a decision that I don't really want to try to be super competitive with this team this season. I don't think it has many benefits. I think ultimately we can probably be right around where the Miami Heat actually were, you know, a 3 seed in the East and maybe win a playoff series. But this is not a championship winning team, especially with LeBron and the Cavs in the Eastern Conference. So we're going to kind of bottom out a little bit. I know it might not be everybody's favorite approach to these rebuilds, but I'm going to acquire draft picks for older and expiring players that'll hopefully benefit me down the line. Now, I will preface this by saying I absolutely hate this Robin Lopez contract. He's going to be a backup center for probably one season, and then we'll move on from it. The real reason we're doing this deal is to land an unprotected first from the New York Knicks in 2017. We take a look at this New York roster. Obviously, they do have Carmelo Anthony, but outside of him, there's not a lot to work here with. So an unprotected first, not this year's draft, but the one after that, certainly could be beneficial to us. And for two 30-plus-year-olds who are both expiring, feels like a really good first trade. Tyler Johnson, Amari Stoudemire, and Josh McRoberts are all going to Milwaukee Bucks for Michael Carter-Williams and Grievous Vasquez, not a name I've heard in a minute. Ultimately, we are trading away, you know, 2 one-year contracts and a really disgusting contract for a 70 overall Josh McRoberts for 2 one-year expiring deals, but we're getting a little bit younger, and really I'm doing this deal for MCW because we need a new backup point guard. I think we are going to trade Grievous Vasquez almost immediately, potentially land ourselves a new backup power forward, as much as I think maybe, you know, Udonis Haslem could be a nice leader on this team. I don't really actually want him seeing the floor. So we're just going to go ahead and move on from Vasquez, and then I might hang on to Richardson. He has a team option. If he was fully expiring, maybe I can, you know, commit to a different trade. But as of now, I'm just looking for a power forward of some sort. Oh, Chris Kardashian. A power forward of some sort, preferably on a multi-year deal. If I don't find one, though, that's not the end of the world. I see a few options right now. PJ Tucker's not listed as a power forward, but he certainly can play the power forward. Oh my God, Kevin Garnett. All right, not really loving any of these options right here, so we will just take the deal here. I don't know. It's either Chris Kardashian, Trevor Booker's fine. All right, that might be our final trade. Again, we didn't maybe bottom this thing out as much as we were kind of hoping, but we're going to get some young players some minutes, and I think we've done everything we really wanted to here for year one. I have a feeling we might not be a very good team, and ultimately that is actually going to be the exact kind of season I want, because I want to have a valuable draft pick. We have the 2016 NBA draft coming up. Obviously, a lot of notable names and faces in that draft class. I think a lot of them could benefit this team. On top of that, we're going to have a lot of cap space to work with this offseason. I think we've set ourselves up well. So year one's going to be a little painful. At least that's what I'm assuming. Here's how the rotation's going to look. Goran Dragic, Dwayne Wade, Justice Winslow, Chris Bosh, Hassan Whiteside. Certainly not a terrible 1 through 5. You have to keep in mind that this Hassan Whiteside is obviously not a real Hassan Whiteside, so he is certainly not going to put up great numbers. I'll just tell you that right now. The bench is weak. I'll let you know that. Michael Carter-Williams, Gerald Green, Robin Lopez, Trevor Booker, and Darrell Wright. It is something that we're going to have to seriously work on this offseason. All under one of the best head coaches in basketball, Mr. Eric Spoelstra. So that's where we're at right now. We are going to go through year one, and hopefully it is quick and it is painless. I'll see you guys at the end of the year. An old friend takes home the MVP award here at the end of year number 1, that being Mr. LeBron James. The first season here in Miami was an interesting one, to say the least. I was kind of hoping we were going to bottom out, have a really good draft pick. That is maybe unfortunately not the situation we find ourselves in. We're not super bad, but we're also not super good. We are mid as all hell, about literally as mid as you can be at 41 and 41. Not my favorite place to be. Actually, maybe my least favorite place to be. So I guess it just makes the video a little bit more challenging. Joel Embiid, pretty sure you can ignore that, right? He was 2013. Oh, Embiid was 14, and he missed his rookie season. I guess that does qualify. Ryan Anderson, or whoever that is your 6th man of the year. DeAndre Jordan is your depoy. Giannis Antetokounmpo, most improved. And yeah, oh, what? I forgot about this shared file. They're pretty, you know, big on the Cavaliers. 79-3. Seems legit. I think I went 80-2 in 2K24 once. I've gone 82-0 before, but 79-3 is certainly not something you see every day. So I guess LeBron is a fan favorite here in 2K. Oh my God! All right, well, 79 wins is it was a close race, but it will take the Eastern Conference. We actually ended up as the 6th seed here with 41 wins. I mean, the East is just obviously not extremely talented right now. And here's a look at the West. Okay, let's get into the numbers a little bit. How did everybody play for us kind of across the board? It was Dwayne Wade, Goran Dragic, Chris Bosh, Justice Winslow. We got Green, MCW. This is what I mean with Whiteside, by the way. Oh my God. He's down to a 77 overall. Yeah, I'm not really sure. Look at his relations. He's heated. funny enough. I don't know. It's something about the way his, CPU, or not CPU, the way that his player mold's been, created or whatever it is. I should have traded him before the season started, but that's on me. It is us and the Wizards here in round one. You got John Wall, Bradley Beal, Kelly Oubre, Markieff Morris. You got Bogut, Nene, Jared Dudley, Gary Neal. I think they're a better team than us. I'm not going to lie to you, but we quickly do go up 2-0. All right, they win game 3. They also win game 4. We have just every single game in the series, the away team has won. Until this one, we went into game in 6. I can't fucking speak. We win game 6, win the series. Now moving on to the 2-seeded Chicago Bulls. You get kind of the end of Derrick Rose's tenure here in Chicago. Really where Jimmy Butler kind of emerged as the best player. Mike Dunleavy, Taj Gibson, Pau Gasol. This will be a fun rebuild. Let me know if you want me to rebuild this Bulls team. All right, here goes nothing in the East semis. This is where the Heat were actually eliminated in real life. Maybe that's going to be the same case right now. And it is, because we ended up getting bounced in 5 games. And it is the Cleveland Cavaliers who, oh my God. Okay. It is time for the offseason. We have many big decisions to make with this team, including the future of Dwayne Wade. Obviously, we are strongly considering maybe moving on potentially from Hassan Whiteside. A couple of logos and floors and uniforms. Cool. Draft lottery. It's unfortunate. We're not going to have a pick in it this year. I was kind of hoping we would. We will not. It is the Lakers, 76ers, twice Pistons, and then the Raptors. All right. I'm obviously pretty happy with Eric Spoelstra as our head coach, so we will head up to said draft. Let's see, where are we in terms of the pick? We are at number 17, and we have 6 and 13 in round 2. I'm still really high on this Knicks pick we obviously acquired next year. I think it could be something really valuable for us. I think it is certainly time to explore a Hassan Whiteside trade because, yeah, it's whatever. Whoever created this player mold certainly did not do my favorite job ever. Fresh off his Defensive Player of the Year campaign, DeAndre Jordan is now going to be a member of the Miami Heat. We're sending out Hassan Whiteside and Robin Lopez. Ultimately, Lopez was never going to be here for the long-term picture anyways. Hated the contract, really only made the trade to get the draft pick. So DJ, 27 years old, on a 2-year, $43.5 million contract, is now going to be our new starting center, and I'm super excited to have him here, right? At least it's like a real player mold. It's a 2K created one. We're also getting a draft pick from the Clippers. So, yeah, the Whiteside thing was just never going to work out. If we had actual Hassan Whiteside here, it certainly would have, but it's just a situation we find ourselves in, and we got a nice upgrade. So I'm going to hold on to pick number 17. I'm going to trade away both these second-round picks. I don't really know for what. Thank you very much, Lakers. And then I'll just see who's sitting here. Of course, we're not going to get Jaylen Brown or Ben Simmons or Brandon Ingram or any of those guys, but hopefully a serviceable NBA player here. Well, I had hopes for a serviceable NBA player. Certainly have not found one yet. I am still going to scroll. I see DeJounte Murray is sitting here. Vita Zubats is here. Lower overall. According to our scouting department, Juancho Hernangomez here is a 74. I know, obviously, hindsight, I would clearly take DeJounte Murray. He's the best player, but I have drafted him in these rebuilds before, and that 71 overall is accurate, and he never really develops in these 3-year rebuilds in time to be significantly important. So if Hernangomez is actually 74, which I'm going to kind of hope and bank that he is, I'm going to take him because I think he could actually be a rotation piece in this video where I think that Murray probably would not be. Yes, maybe this is the worst decision of this video so far, but it is a risk we are certainly going to take. So, Juancho, welcome to the team. Mr. Bo Cruz himself. He's a 73 overall. I'll live with it. MCW, Richardson, both going to be brought back. Now it is time for the big decision, that being Mr. Dwayne Wade. Of course, we are pretty much nothing without him. If I'm being completely honest with you, this team on paper right now is certainly not impressive in the least. But I also have to determine how much is he asking for. What are his other offers? Looks like $83.5 million over 4 from the Brooklyn Nets. Also considering an offer from the Minnesota Timberwolves. Asking us for about $18 million annually. Am I going to do it? Also got LeBron James sitting here, who for whatever reason is listed as a restricted free agent, which clearly at age 31 he would not be. The problem is that this free agency class just sucks. And if I want to do anything here, I have to be pretty careful because I think the one next year is relatively talented. But I also have to make sure that I really kind of spend my money in the right place if it's not going to be on Dwayne Wade. Who else do we have in the free agent department? Really nobody. 1 second. We are taking a rare and maybe stupid approach right now. I am ultimately going to clear up money. I want to be bad again. I want to fully bottom out, and then we're basically going to try to go from worst to first. I think there's an argument to be made that certainly paying Dwayne Wade, running that back for his age 34 season, along with 32-year-old Chris Bosh and 30-year-old Goran Dragic is certainly a nice plan. I don't think it's the greatest plan, though. So Chris Bosh is going to be moved on from. I know maybe Heat fans are going to kill me. We're also getting a really valuable draft pick here from the Lakers, who clearly are not very good. Kobe's 37. Lou Williams is 30. I mean, this is a team that is hopefully going to have another valuable draft pick, also getting a young and up-and-coming Julius Randle. So I know it's maybe not everybody's favorite path, and certainly this would be a better plan for a 5-year rebuild, but certainly doesn't make it any less of an exciting video. So that's where we're at for now. I'm also thinking it is time to probably move on from Goran Dragic, so a couple more trades in the works. So I want to bottom out, but I also want to have at least one player I can head into year 3 with that saying confidently is going to be a starter on this team. That is going to be Kemba Walker. We're landing him from the Charlotte Hornets on a beautiful 3-year, $36 million contract. He's 26 years old, and he's coming off a really, really fantastic season. So 30-year-old Goran Dragic, Michael Carter-Williams, who is, Michael Carter-Williams, both going to be sent to the Hornets for Kemba. And we're also getting Frank Kaminsky back in this deal. So no draft picks coming back our way, but we do have our point guard of the future here who's hopefully going to help lead us to the promised land at some point throughout this video. So we're going, a relatively interesting 1 through 5 next year. We have our 2 centers, our 2 power forwards, 1 small forward, pretty much 0 shooting guards, if I'm being honest with you, because Richardson probably not really going to cut it, and then 1 point guard. So let's just explore some of the other free agents here that maybe we could consider spending a little bit of money on. I see Bradley Beal is here. He's a restricted free agent, though, in all honesty. He's probably going to be matched. Some other options here, it's really just like J.R. Smith, Courtney Lee. I do see Jordan Clarkson's here, only 24 years of age. Maybe throw him an offer to be a starter for us. And then in terms of the point guard options I see here, we're looking for a backup right now. Isaiah Cannon's here, Jeremy Lin. I'd do a 1-year deal with Jeremy Lin. Actually, we'll do a 2-year. That's relatively cheap. All right, we're going to bring in Clarkson and Lin. Dwayne Wade's officially going to go, just as he did in real life. Gerald Green, a little bit old at this point in time. We're not getting Jordan Clarkson. All right, well, that was fun for about 2 seconds. I'm assuming we have no chance on Beal, right? I mean, I would be an idiot not to at least attempt it, but I am pretty sure, almost 100% positive, it's not going to happen. So maybe we're just going to kind of bottom out at this position as well, and maybe that's fine, right? Maybe that's what we honestly kind of need. Good God. Should I bring Dion back? Fuck it, why not? Okay, yeah, I knew I wasn't going to get Beal, but we do get Dion Waiters and Jeremy Lin. This is going to be a very, very painful season, and fuck it, I'll just play Josh Richardson too. We are trying to be as bad as possible. Looking at my small forward options, I see Uncle Jeff is here. Pretty much it. Terrence Ross is sitting here. Why the hell not? All right, well, interesting offseason. Typically, Really, Terrence? Come on, man. Darius Miller. God, you left me in this position right now. I guess Evan Fournier is going to have to do. Good God. All right, this is not typically how my second off seasons go for 3-year rebuilds, but we are fine. Let's take a look at the draft picks we have heading into next year. Oh, shit. Do we not have our own first? Where is my first? Oh, fuck. This could be bad. I did not know that. Okay, well, let me just do a quick check of the league and see where my draft pick is. If wherever it is, please tell me it has some sort of protection on it, because I am absolutely cooked. Oh, my God. Okay, thank God. 2K does not register this as a super valuable draft pick yet because we obviously have not done a lot. We haven't simulated at the start of next season. All right, I'm going to take my unprotected pick back for next year. Josh Richardson is unfortunate loss. It is certainly not the end of the world. We will now bring in Evan Turner on a 1-year deal. Totally fine by me. Really? Come on, Evan. I'll see you guys at the start of year 2. Miami Heat fans, if you have not already turned off the video, just hang with me. I promise you I have a plan. We're going to turn this thing around. It is obviously an unconventional way to go about a 3-year rebuild. If this was a 5-year rebuild, of course, the plan and the direction I have taken would make a whole lot more sense. But we are in a 3-year rebuild now, so this is year 2 out of 3. And I, of course, am fully preparing for offseason number 2, which is the final one, and by far the most important thing I am going to do in this video. So we are not a good team. I'm fully aware. It's Kemba Walker, Evan Turner, Justice Winslow, Julius Randle, DeAndre Jordan, Jeremy Lin, Frank Kaminsky, Evan Fournier, Juancho Hernan-Gomez, and Dion Waiters is my bench. I know it sucks. That is the point. I will see you guys. Also, I would like to say I am very, very happy that I was able to trade back for my first-round pick this year because if you see it now, it is listed at, let's just check the stars and the value. Maybe. I don't really know. 2.5 stars because 2K actually registered what this roster is compared to where we did it last year. So very happy about this. We also have the Knicks pick and the Lakers pick top 3 protected. So potentially top 10 picks, maybe all of them. We'll see. I will see you guys at the end of year 2. LeBron James took his talents to Memphis. Interesting. At least that means that he is no longer in the East. I can take something away from it. We finally bottomed out. We got there, just took an extra season. We go 14-68, and we are probably well within the mix for the #1 overall pick. Brickleberry Simmons, your Rookie of the Year, somehow ended up in Philly. Our old friend Michael Carter-Williams. Anthony Davis is your DPOY. Tim Hardaway Jr., most improved, and somehow in Cleveland, still winning 64 games, even though the best player in the world is no longer with them. All right, let's see where we are in the East. I'm hoping we're near the bottom. Also got to keep tabs on the New York pick. How the fuck did they win 42 wins? Oh, miss me with that bullshit. All right, at least our pick's going to be valuable. The Lakers also missed the playoffs, so maybe we'll get a little lucky in the lottery. Those picks are obviously not going to be as valuable as we one at a time maybe hoped. It was Kemba Walker, Julius Randle, Turner, Fournier, Winslow, Fournier, Jordan Lynn. You get the picture. Rebounds were led by DJ, and assists was Kemba. All right, we are not in the playoffs. Let's sim through it real quick. Let's hopefully get into this offseason and do something really good. The Cavs still win it all, even without LeBron, and I think 2K has a Cavaliers obsession. Okay. It is time for the most important moment of this so far. That is the challenge system. Was the challenge really in 2017? It's later than that, I thought. Changing some logos and uniforms and stuff, that's fine. Actually, it's just the Nike logo for everybody. All right, this is very important. Let's see where we're going to end up in the draft lottery. We're projected the 13th overall pick from the Lakers. We are 25% chance #1 overall pick. We fall all the way to 4, because of course we do. We also have number 13. Okay. Good with Spoelstra. Going to hang on to him. Let's head up to the draft and see what we have and what we are currently working with. Of course, there are a couple different ways, a couple different directions we can go here. A lot of our guys are a little pissed off, which is kind of understandable. Let me make some trades. We're hitting up the San Antonio Spurs, who did end up winning the 2017 draft lottery. I want the #1 overall pick. They are in control of it right now, and how about we just make a deal? That is obviously number 4. That is Jeremy Lin. This is our unprotected first in 2019, not 2018. I'd also be willing to include Dion Waiters in a potential deal, and that gets us #1. All right. I have another plan. I also want number 2. I want to get both Jason Tatum and Donovan Mitchell. It's going to physically hurt me to see Jason Tatum in a Miami Heat jersey, but for the good of the video, I am willing to, I guess, put my pride aside. The Brooklyn Nets own the number 2 overall pick. Let me just find them. Let is off for number 13. Number 17, our unprotected first next year. They're not willing to do that yet. How about if I include Juancho Hernan-Gomez in this? Now we just landed ourselves both Jason Tatum and Donovan Mitchell. All right, that puts us in a little bit of a better spot. We're not going to use these second-round picks. I'm going to move both of these and hopefully find myself a couple future seconds. Maybe not. Can I just do one? And thank you. Like, why is it so complicated? More importantly, we got ourselves 2 NBA superstars. We're going to end up with Jason Tatum and Donovan Mitchell. Obviously, both are going to be rookies, so maybe they're not going to be, superstars here in a championship or bust season, but whether they're starting coming off the bench, it is certainly going to be nice to have both of them here while saving money. Randall, Winslow, and Kaminsky all going to be brought back. We look at qualifying, no thank you. And now we enter a free agency where there are definitely a lot of talented players here. Steph Curry would be obviously priority and choice number 1. I do not know if he's going to have any interest in coming here. Probably not, but I am going to have to try anyways. It would be stupid not to. So, well, maybe I just don't really have the money for Steph. Do I have any other free agents? I don't. All right, I was hoping there were some younger talented players here, but it's not really the case right now. I do see Victor Oladipo here, who's certainly somebody I'm interested in, but I'm assuming he's probably just going to go back to Orlando. Probably. They're just going to match whatever it is. He's restricted, unfortunately. So we might have to pivot and kind of divert our plan a little bit elsewhere. Hypothetically, we could have a starting 5 figured out right now if we really wanted to. But I think we need to make one upgrade, whether it's at the starting shooting guard spot, the small forward spot, or the power forward spot. And unfortunately, there's just not a lot of names here, right? Giannis is going to get matched. I would certainly love to offer Giannis a contract, but he's going to go back to Milwaukee pretty much no matter what. Got a really, I guess, Paul Millsap here. If we're interested in him, offering about $46 million total. I would be willing to maybe go a little bit more just because we have to try to go out and sign somebody. So Paul Millsap, I guess, is kind of my best option. So we'll bring in Paul Millsap. That's fine. It's certainly not my favorite pickup, but it's what we had to work with right now. I was kind of hoping there were a few more names in this draft class, or excuse me, free agency class that would help me out a little bit more. Obviously, that is not the case right now. So let's look at some backup guard options for us. A guy like Darren Collison. Probably going to be my best option here, bringing him in off the bench, potentially as a backup to Kemba. And then the backup shooting guard options are not great. So I'm going to get a little cheesy with it, and some of you might hate this, which is fine. We're going to sign Chandler Parsons, bring in Chandler Parsons. And actually, I'll keep Chandler Parsons. He's got to be better than Winslow. So Winslow and Fournier are now going to be moved Actually, I could probably just do Winslow. If I do Winslow and some draft picks, can I get a new shooting guard? Preferably somebody with a little bit of talent. Not seeing many shooting guards. All right, honestly, maybe going to be JaVale McGee, because I was also going to trade for a new backup center. Coming off a season, he put up 10 and 8. Certainly not the worst idea in the world. All right, fuck it. Let's go ahead and make this trade here. Who is he with? The Knicks? Yes, JaVale McGee going to come in, going to be my new backup center, and now we're also going to have to land ourselves potentially a new backup shooting guard. So Kaminsky, Fournier, unprotected first from the Knicks in 2018. Please tell me there's a shooting guard here. That's it. Good God, man. This is so challenging. All right, shooting guard, $7 million. It's going to be somebody on their rookie deal more than likely, but that is fine. It's what I have to work with right now. I see Lou Will. Jalen Brown's is not going to happen. I'd love it too. Booker, no. How about Clarkson? We tried to sign him a couple off seasons ago. Now maybe potentially different market for him. All right, cool. All right, that is what we have found ourselves with. Obviously, we were not initially planning to have this be, the way we were going to go about it, but it's what we have to work with right now. So I will see you guys at the start of year 3. It is not impossible that we win a championship this season. I will say it is certainly unlikely, but I have definitely done crazier things here in 2K. Now, if everybody was hypothetically in their primes, there is definitely an argument this would be one of the better teams in the league. I don't know if that is the case because Donovan Mitchell and Jason Tatum are both rookies, but we do have a pretty good surrounding core. There is definitely a decent product here, and it is certainly going to be a competitive team at the worst. So we're playing heavy minutes to our 2 rookies alongside Kemba Walker, obviously the 2 rookies, Millsap and I almost said DeAndre Jordan. Oh no, it is DeAndre Jordan. Excuse me, I'm getting the Jordan picked up because I have DJ here and I have Clarkson here. Darren Collison back at point guard, Julius Randle on the bench unit. Now we got JaVale McGee and then Chandler Parsons. So that is the team. I am hoping Eric Spoelstra can do absolute wonders to this group, somehow lead us to a really good season. All things considered, year 3 was pretty good. We go 50 and 32. I don't think that's going to take the East because 2K is clearly obsessed with the Cavs, but we are in a pretty good position to be competitive, at least here in year 3. Giannis is your MVP. I don't know who that is. You got Michael Carter-Williams, rookie, or excuse me, 6th man. AD, once again, your Depoy. Cat, most improved. Thibs, 62 and 20 for the Timberwolves. All right, we are the 4 seed. Wow, we were what? A 6 seed with 41 wins in year 1? It's funny how that works. So we're going to have the Toronto Raptors here in round 1, and we are just going to have to fight and claw and hope that we can get it done. Kemba, Millsap, JT, Mitchell, Clarkson, Collison, DJ, Randall, and McGee. Rebounds led by DJ, and assist was Kemba. All right, here goes nothing. It is us and the Raptors. Lowry, DeRozan, Gay, Bender, Valanciunas. Oh boy, this is going to be a tough first round matchup for us. Do win the first 2 though, and 3. Okay, good start. Now, we move on to the 1-seeded Washington Wizards. Obviously, Wall and Beal. Markieff Morris is an 85. 2K. Are you bullshitting me again? Don't get me wrong. Markieff Morris was a solid role player in the NBA, but an 85 overall, averaging damn near 23 and 11 in the playoffs. You can miss me with that a little bit. All right, we do win game 1 and game 2. What is going on? Oh my God. No. Thank you. We are in these finals. We're taking on the 3-seed Milwaukee Bucks. Facundo, Campazzo, Middleton, Giannis has won an MVP. That's not Jabari Parker. Salah Mejri, Damari Carroll. They have the best player in the series, no doubt. But am I insane for thinking we might be a better team? Quick 2-0 lead. We do lose game 3 and game 4. Oh no. It's 2K. It's just 2K, man. All right, well, Giannis was obviously too much, and I'm not trading. It is impossible in this shared file to add centers to your team. They're always pissed. They always have. They're always on their periods. It is what it is. All right. Obviously, went about this one in an interesting way. It's that time of year when I am certainly going to explore different options in terms of rebuilds, and a lot of it had to do with the team we started out with. But I think there was a lot to learn from this one, right? I mean, I could have committed to Dwayne Wade. We would have saw some regression, could have hung on to Chris Bosh, but we went a different direction. I think this would have been a really fun 5-year rebuild to see how it kind of played out, but I'm still happy with the result. We try different things, especially when we're in the August cycle, or August month of the 2K cycle. So that's it for me. Let me know any other video ideas down below in the comment section. As always, thanks so much for watching. Love you guys. I'll catch you guys all in the next one.